Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Good News. I film videos from Nigeria. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please click on the subscribe button to subscribe and join this amazing family. And beside the subscribe button is a notification bell. Also click on that notification bell to be the very first person to get notified each time I post new videos. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. I am super grateful. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I knew that my husband was the one. So I've had two people come on my IG, like Instagram, my DM, to ask me to just give a very detailed explanation on how I got to know that my husband was the one for me to get married to. So yeah, without giving too much information, I am going to try my best to make this video as brief as possible. The story is quite lengthy, but I mean, I'm not going to share everything because some things are personal to me. So I'm going to try my best to keep it as brief and as simple as possible. And if you're not following me on IG, I don't know what's going on. What have I done to you? Like, let us go on IG. Follow me on IG and I'll follow you back ASAP. My name on IG is always on the screen. I always make sure to attach the name here, so it's always running through my videos. So just check here, you see my name, my IG name. So yeah, just follow me on IG and I'll follow back. I'll definitely give you a follow back. So yeah, without further ado, without wasting much time on the talking, just introduction, let's get right into the video. I think me and my husband, we've done a video on this before, how we met, but we didn't really, talk about everything that was involved in how we met, how we broke up, and how we came back together, and how we both knew that we were meant for each other. We've not really talked about that, so I am going to be sharing that story with you guys. So yeah, we've said it a couple of times here that we met, me and my husband. I met my husband in 2015, and as at that time I was about 19 years. I was about 19 years old, and I just got into the university that period. So I met him. He was in my church, and funny enough, I've never seen him before. So we started talking briefly on Facebook, and we just started talking, and before we knew it, we became friends. It was a very beautiful friendship, and I was happy that my husband was not the kind of person that just came over as, okay, I just want a relationship with you. Like, how people just come and they just go direct to the point. So my husband was not that type of person. We started off as being friends, and that friendship was really beautiful, and I really needed that friendship at that time. So it was really beautiful. And I was very young and very naive. What did I even know about relationship? Like, what did I know? I got into the university, and I just left my parents' house to school, and you wouldn't expect a 19-year-old girl to be really committed in a relationship. So my husband asked me out, and I accepted to be his girlfriend at that point. But now, as a fresher, you want to see what the world and what the university has in stock for you. So I liked my husband. When we got to see, I liked him so much. I liked his sense of reasoning, the way he reasoned things at that point. He was obviously older than I was, so I liked the fact that we connected very easily. And he was ready for a relationship, but I thought I was ready for a relationship, but obviously I wasn't ready. So we started going out, and I think at that point is when he recently relocated to Abuja, so it was more like a long distance stuff. And sometimes how long distance relationship can be. In my case, it didn't go well for us because like I said, I just got into the university at that point, so I really needed to just enjoy myself at that point. Not like enjoying, oh thank God for God, not like enjoying, not like doing bad stuff, but I just needed to see the world for myself, like just do make some mistakes, learn from it, and all of that. And my husband was ready for a relationship at that point, but he had this. There's this thing I didn't really like about him that time. He had I had a little bit of anger issue, like, yeah, very little bit of it, and it wasn't really helping. Me too. I had anger issue, very small. So if two angers, like two people that are angry, just join together, it would be a disaster. So fast forward to 2 years later, we just could not continue the whole thing again. We broke off. So when we broke off, we went our separate ways. He went his way, and funny thing is, we didn't even go, like, when we separated, we wasn't even in an amicable way. I blocked him on Facebook, he blocked me on WhatsApp. Like, we just blocked ourselves. Like, we blocked every way that we had ourselves in on social media. We just blocked each other on social media. Like, I didn't really want to hear anything about him. Like, he didn't want to hear anything about me. We just blocked each other, and we just went our separate ways. So fast forward, that's 2017, yeah, 2015, 2016, 2017. That's like about 2 years. That's when we broke off. And after breaking off, I went into another relationship. I don't know if I waited or I just went immediately. I broke off. I can't really recall, but I went into another relationship, and it was the worst. To me, that relationship was, it wasn't, well, at some point the relationship was good. At some point I didn't really know what was going on. So that relationship was, I don't know how to say it. You know, when you have to fit yourself into someone's life, like, you just know that this person has a very lavish lifestyle, the kind of friends the person keeps, the kind of things that person do. You yourself, you just have to do things that you're not supposed to do just to fit into that person's lifestyle. That was the kind of relationship I had. I always had to. Sometimes I would just sit and be like, God, are you sure I can deal? Are you sure I can deal with this? Like, are you sure I can? Like, I don't like your friends, but I have to force myself to like your friends. I don't like some of the things you do, but I just have to keep short and just allow you do it so that there will be peace and all those kind of stuff. It really got me. It really bothered me. Like, it really, really bothered me. I just wasn't feeling myself in that relationship at all. I wasn't feeling myself. And the mistake I made in those relationships, like my husband, the first time we dating, and the one I dated after him, the mistake I made in that relationship is that, you know how you sit and think that you, like, God, what's the need of God being involved in your relationship? Like, what's the need? I mean, it's only after when you get married, that's when you start involving God in your relationship. You're like, God, okay, I'm married now, so God, please, this is how I want my marriage to be like when you're already married, this is how I want my marriage to be like, this is how I want this to be like. I mean, that's the only time you can involve God in your relationship, that's after you're married. So I really didn't know how to involve God in my relationship. Mom sat me down one day and was like, okay, are you in a relationship? And at that point, she knew this other person I was dating. She didn't know my husband at that time, but she knew this other person I was dating. My mom didn't really like the guy. That's to show you how bad it was. My mom, when she got to know the guy, she didn't like the guy. And I was just trying how to break off with that guy, but I just couldn't break off. Like, I mean, like, we've gone a long way. Breaking off now, my friends now start laughing at me, all this kind of stuff. You know, school now. My friends now start laughing at me, and I'll now have to start from the scratch again. So it was really annoying. So my mom just sat me down one day. I'm like, have you ever prayed about your relationship before? I'm like, why will I pray? Like, why? She's like, I should start praying about my relationship. It's not until I find someone that will marry me, that's when I now come and start praying for my relationship. I should start now to pray for my relationship. Start now to pray for how I want my marriage to be in the future. Not when you get there, that's when you now start praying for it. So my mom really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like, she really, really opened my eyes to a lot of things when it when it concerns relationship. So my husband is not the only person that proposed to me. That guy actually, okay, we went out one day and we came back. He came to drop me in my house. So normally he won't just take me to my house street, just drop me along the street and I'll just walk into my street, like where my house is located. I'll just walk in. So I was about going out of the car. He was like, wait. Now brought out the ring. I was like, will you marry me? Inside the car. I was like, what's going on? In my mind I was like, what's this? Like, what's this? I already had that he had already been saying it, that he wants to get married to me and all of this blah 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 blah. In my mind I was like, can I really live with this guy? Like, so many things just entered my mind. Like, so many things. I had a lot of thoughts. Like, I had so many thoughts in my head. Like, I was like, okay, this guy should open my head now. He'll see that I'm the wrongest person he's doing this to right now. So I was like, would you marry me? And like, the first thing that came out of my mouth was no. Like, just no. I was just pop and plain, like, no. He was like, okay, I shouldn't panic. I should just go home, give it a thought. I should just think about it, that he's going to wait, no matter how long he's going to wait for me. I was like, see, guy, it's just a no. Like, no, I'm not. I just told him life and direct, like inside that car, that I don't want to marry him. He was like, I should give him reasons why I'm not going to marry him. I was like, I've already complained to you several times that when I'm with you, it feels like I have to fit, like I have to be a certain way around you, and I don't like that feeling of me having to be a certain way around you so that I'll be able to fit into your lifestyle. It was just so chaotic for me. So that was how after when I stepped out of his car and went to my house, that was the end of the relationship for me. Like, I was so done. I was done with the relationship. You've brought our ring and I've said no. What else? What do you want to do? What else are we doing again? That was how I broke up the relationship. And yeah, I stayed for a while. I stayed for like 7 months or so, because a few months after I broke off that relationship, I had a surgery. I was diagnosed Yeah, I had appendicitis, so I had to go for surgery. And after the surgery, I just stayed for a long while. I stayed for like 7 months before I was finally ready. I was already praying before then, but deep down in me, I just felt that, okay, it wasn't like I was desperate. I wasn't desperate in any ways. I was like, okay, I think it's high time I start praying for stuff like this. If I want to get married, I think I need to start praying for it right now. So I started praying. I prayed. One day I was listening to a message. Can I even remember whose message I was listening to? God, I can't remember, but it's one of the koinonia messages. If I remember the name of the pastor, I'm going to put it in the screen for you guys to see. So I was listening to one of his messages, and it was centered around relationship. And God knows how to work in mysterious ways. Like they said, the ways of man are not the ways of God. So I listened to that message. One of my siblings gave me the message to listen to. So I was listening to the message. I just listened to like a normal message, and before I knew it, I was just filled with the Holy Spirit. Like, I saw the Holy Spirit in a different. In fact, I think that was the first time I ever had, like, I really felt the presence of the Holy Spirit in my life that night, that evening. And I was so grateful that I was the only one in my room that day. I was in my parents' house that day. Like, I came back from school to my parents' house. I was so grateful that I was the only one at home that day, because God, the Spirit of God was just everywhere around me, and it was so beautiful that I had to feel the presence of God. I've always longed to feel the presence of, like, the Spirit of God. So it was just so beautiful having to feel it at that moment. I don't know, when I just started praying, I prayed. I was just telling God that, God, my mom has shared a story. She always shares the story with us of how she met my dad. Like, she prayed in the night, she slept, and she saw my dad, and the exact clothes my dad wore in her dream was the exact clothes my dad wore to church the next Sunday. So I thought, God, if this thing is real, can I just at least just see my husband's face? Like, let me just have a glimpse of who I'm going to marry. If it is your will that I get married to, can I just see the person? Like, just give me a sign. At that point, I wasn't even, see, my husband was the last person on my mind. Like, I didn't even, me and my husband were not in terms. So, like, he was just, I didn't even imagine I was going to get married to my husband. So when I slept that night, I can remember it was around 2 o'clock. It was a very short, very short dream. I saw my husband's face. Like, when I just saw his face, I woke up, I was like, what's this? What's going on? Like, what is actually going on? So the next day, I looked for his number. I called him, and everything, funny how when I called him, everything just went so smooth. I thought that when I called him that he was going to hang up the call, like, well, what are you looking for? You know, that kind of thing, and that you didn't really part in good terms with somebody, and next thing you call the person and you feel like the person is still angry with you, and the person just reacts badly to the call. But the reverse was the case. My husband was ready to take, not ready to take me back, but he was not just sure if to take me back or not. At that point, I wasn't looking for a relationship. I just wanted to be his friend again. I mean, God has shown you something and you want to throw it away like that? Hey, so I just wanted to be his friend. I mean, I just apologized, because after that whole thing happened between us, I never really got a chance to apologize to him about everything. At some point it was my fault, at some point it was not my fault, but I never really got the chance to apologize. So when I made the call that day, I apologized to him. I told him I was sorry about everything. In fact, I blame for everything. I was just ready to take the blame for everything that happened between us. So I apologized, and he did too, and we're cool, like we're friends. Like, from that minute, I knew that we were friends. We started being friends again, and it was funny how he had the same, I think he said he had the same thing. He also prayed, and God showed me to him that I was supposed to be his wife. My husband, from the first day my husband saw me, he was like, you're going to be my wife. Like, he kept on saying that thing. He kept on saying that, okay, no matter what happens, if you are meant to be my wife, you're going to come back to me. When I told him the dream I had, he was like, yes, I had a similar dream about that. So, I mean, from there, we started being friends. I think it's courtship. We started doing, I think it's courtship now. It's courtship. He started courting me, and that was how we, but not to say that we didn't still have like extra dramas along the way. We had issues, but we knew how to, sort ourselves out when we had issues, and it was just so sweet to know that we had God at the center of our relationship. Having God in our midst, like in the middle of what we're doing, it was just so easy. It's easy to settle issues when we have one. So what I'm driving at is that if you know you really want to achieve something in life, just make sure you draw God to yourself. Make sure, even if it's a business you're doing, make sure you talk to God first about it. Even if you're trying to go into school, make sure you talk to God about it. Even if you're trying to go into a relationship, make sure you talk to God about it. Even in marriage, even before getting married, I see people make that mistake of not praying about when you're about getting married. You don't pray, you just rush into marriage because you feel it's right. See, the devil these days, I feel like this 2021 has really been all about the devil attacking marriages, and it's really funny how we just let the devil have his way in our lives. So I feel like before you get into any relationship, before you get into any marriage, just do yourself that favor of talking to God first. Like, talk to God. there's nothing too hard for God to do. Just relate to God as if it's your party. That's why if I want to pray, in fact, anytime I pray, it's like I am talking to somebody that is sitting, like someone that I'm seeing physically, but I've never seen God before. So each time I want to pray to God, I relate to Him as if, come on, you're my brother, you're my big brother. I don't know if God is a man or if, I don't know, but I relate with God as if we've known for a very long time. Like that's how I talk to God, though, because I don't know how to pray in foreign language. I don't. So yeah, all I'm saying is always allow God to be in your life, because you might think that this thing you're about doing is right for you, when in God's ways, like in God's sight, is the wrongest of all the wrongest thing you have to do. So first of all, you have to talk to Him, bear out your mind to Him, and just allow God to direct you in everything you need to do. So yeah, that's just a simple story. I've tried to keep it very minimal, not saying too much. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I, got the revelation that my husband was just meant for me. I mean, if I didn't pray, maybe I would have missed my husband. If I didn't really talk to God, maybe I would have missed my husband. And if I didn't really sit down to evaluate my life, I would have gotten married to the wrong person, and who knows, I would have had regrets now. Like I would have had regrets now getting married to the wrong person. Put God first and everything will fall into places. So with that, this end of this video, I hope you just took out something from this video. If you did enjoy this video, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section, share this video, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed, and I'll see you guys in my next video.